Hello everybody, welcome to another Focus MK1 episode. Few and far between because the car doesn't really need that much, although there will be some things long term that I'll be looking at extremely soon, as soon as I get Project Ruby up and running as such. But it's all balancing act. Both of the other cars have been occupying my time a little bit, but this is an episode where it's absolutely relevant to Focus MK1s and the preservation group that I actually started not long ago now. It seems a million miles away now, but the group is going well, and the element is on Focus MK1s of originality slash subtle modifications. I am not one for heavy modifications. I don't think they look good on MK1s as much as they used to. Each their own on that one. I have every respect for people and their choices and what they decide to do with their cars and not mine. That's fair enough. But the main point is, and this is a modification that's been done many times before, is the radio in a MK1 Focus. More specifically about how you can actually make them a bit more up to date. We're talking about, a 6000 CD. This is the most likely radio that you will get in a Focus MK1. You could have the uprated CD changer that you got on the gear models or the ST170, or a cassette player on the lowly spec models. But on an LX Z-Tech, you're most likely to have one of these in front of you. They're not that great in the modern day context. I actually removed this and replaced mine with I think it was an aftermarket Sony one, and they're basically one DIN, because on a Focus MK1 it's a weird size. It's 1.5 DIN, not 2 DIN. So you kind of, if you want a 2 DIN touchscreen radio, which everybody seems to have gone for, you need to butcher the aperture. You can get a fascia, a 2 DIN fascia aftermarket that will fit that really nicely, but I don't like them personally. I've seen people where they've had to butcher the corners to fit the new radio. There's a lot of faffing around. They're great radios, they've got touchscreen, Bluetooth, you name it, all the mod cons. The Sony player that I had, I think this was 2014, I had a 3.5 jack. That was absolutely amazing back in the day. Remember them, the 3.5 jack? They were awful. The interference is dreadful. Bluetooth is far better. So how can we make this radio more relevant for someone who wants to retain that original period look? I have since, as you can see, gone back to this radio. I did have the radio that's in Beatrix. I will show you the radio now, just briefly. This is it. And it is a Bluetooth retro radio. It looks really in keeping in Beatrix. I'm so pleased they kept it. But in the Focus, I had it in here for a couple of years to replace the Sony one. The Sony one gave in, so I went the Bluetooth way. But it didn't look quite right. And you had to have a little fascia, the typical fascias you get to block it out. They're not great. And I always think now, even though these radios do tend to give a few little problems, and they can die. It's usually dry soldered joints that give in. The most common fault is when they refuse to tune. So you press the seek button to try and find a radio station, and it will just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. It won't find anything. So you can get them repaired. Most places will know how to deal with it. But ideally, it's probably cheaper to just get another one, because there's plenty of them about. This one's in really good condition. No scratches. The screen is good. It's all good. The only thing I would say is, if people, before you condemn a bad radio, make sure that this is a security feature. It's so that back in the day, no one would take your radio because you've got this, unless the person had one of these already. But ideally, it cuts the whole thing off. See, won't start. But just make sure that it's clicked in. Okay, this button should be clicked in. Click it off. Now if I just switch it on, I'm going to lower the volume down. Well, I might get done for copyright here from TalkSport. If I just do this, there you go, it's gone off. The connections have gone. It's too slack. If I push it in, there we go. We're back in. Now this is an FM, medium wave, maybe long wave radio, okay, typically as standard. But ideally in the modern day and age, we need something a bit more compatible. I get a lot of interference on this thing. The CD player works perfectly. I have some CDs maybe in there, but I want to try and retain something original. I don't use this car much. It's for shows now, and I'm not really bothered about the latest connectivity because it's not a daily driver. But what if yours is still a daily driver and you want it to be a bit more usable but not butchering the radio? Well, easy. We have these now. These are FM 12 volt transmitters. Okay, they got some USB outputs as well, but there is a basic element to this. This will connect to your phone via Bluetooth. It goes in a cigarette lighter. It will connect to your phone via Bluetooth, but you need to match the radio station. So basically all you have to do is find a blank radio station on here, deliberately empty, okay, on the FM setting, and then you set this accordingly to the same channel, okay, so they're matched. And this FM transmitter will hook on to the aerial signal that this radio is tuned to, and that will beam music off your phone or anything you're playing through the car speaker system. How about that? And you can even answer phone calls as well. So, take that off. I do use this for a lot of charging when I go to car shows, of which I am going to one tomorrow. Just take this out. Okay, so it's very basic. It's very Chinesey. We've got a 1 amp slow charger. I don't know what for music. I don't know why it's green. And a fast charging 3.1 amp USB socket. And we've got a USB-C connector. That's quite handy because my mobile uses that, and they're quite fast charging as well. We've got the channel selector, and we've got the phone button, and we've got the brightness. So let's just plug it straight in. Oh, why? Yes, lovely. Interestingly, it also tells you the battery voltage. That's not quite a nice fit, actually. So 12.3, 12.1. Yeah, the battery's a bit low on this. Oh, no. We've got all these nice little colours which look completely out of keeping on a Mark 1. The point is, I'd prefer something like this that you can plug in and remove. So when I'm at a show, take it out, put that back in, nobody will know the difference. That's the point. I'd rather have that than an entire radio. You know what I mean? We've got some channel stations coming up now. So we can just adjust the channel, I suspect. There we go. Ooh. Well, that's the volume, I suspect. I'm trying to get used to this. But yeah, basically, we were going to rotate, I believe. So if I turn it to 0, and we'll just find a blank station. Remember, we have to find the FM setting. So FM. Well, obviously not that one. Now you see the amount of interference you get from a blank station. Now the only problem with this system is they may be, once you've linked that to that, so we're going to have to change. Shall we change the channel here? 87.5. We'll try and find that station, but it won't let me. Right, 87.5 it is. Although I'm not sure. That doesn't appear to be working. I'm not quite sure why. I'll have to look up the manual. The manual is in there. But I'm just doing this ad hoc for you. So we've got 87.5. Not as much interference. The problem is when you're driving down and going on a long distance trip, that might be an empty radio station here where I'm located in Birmingham. But if you go for a region that uses that station, yeah, you're going to have a bit of, not interference, you're going to have people talking and you're going to have your music. It's a bit difficult, that one. But ideally, we'll try and get it on the Bluetooth setting. Now, hang fire. But for obvious reasons and copyright reasons, I can't actually show you because it's my physical phone that I've connected. But I've just gone on the Bluetooth settings on my phone and it's come up as BT car. It might be different for every single one of them, to be fair, but I have literally just programmed, I've literally just clicked the Bluetooth, it's paired up with this, and guess what? As soon as I turn the volume on the radio, because it's on 0 for copyright reasons. I literally played some music through YouTube and it's gone through my speakers as nice as anything. That is brilliant. That is absolutely fantastic. I need to find out though about changing the actual channel on this. I'm not sure why that button is not actually working. I don't know whether these, oh, don't tell me they're fake buttons. Oh, yeah, now it's flashing. I've held it. Ah, that's what you do. You have to, you have to hold the channel button and then you can adjust. Well, 87.5 is fine with me. Now hold the brightness. I'm holding it. It might take me some getting used to using that actually, but I thought I'd have a fiddle around with it. This is the first time I've used this. I'm really pleased. So there you go. How to get music from your phone through an old ancient radio and speaker system. This is the way of going about it. I'm going to leave this here, but technology hey today. Yep, I really like that. And guess what? I think this cost me £6. Yeah, Chinese cheapness. I think we're all responsible for the pollution in the world today, and these are responsible because they're just so good. How you can make such a device for less than £6. Unbelievable. Fantastic. Right, I will leave this here with the voltage shown quite nicely there. You take care, guys. I will see you in another video.